Mark, thank you so much for accepting the interview with Gansu Radio and Television Station during the 8th Silk Road Dunhuang International Cultural Expo.
Yeah, I'm also very much thankful as well for this invitation. Ni hao.
As a representative of ASEAN Youth Organization, and this Cultural Expo is definitely a platform for cultural exchanges. So I want to know, can you share some feelings about this Cultural Expo and Dunhuang forums?
Absolutely. Everything was designed according to how we envisioned it before coming here in China, in Dunhuang. And it is indeed a wonderful engagement and opportunity as well for us to collaborate and to make partnerships and to talk relevant issues and concerns from our respective countries, not just limited to the 10 ASEAN member states that we have, but also it is indeed a great opportunity to talk with our respective youth leaders, even our volunteers coming from the Chinese community. And hand in hand, we are exploring more synergies and more areas of collaboration as to how we can promote friendship, good camaraderie to each other. And we are looking forward to more partnerships and collaborations with that of the ASEAN and the China youth.
Okay. And in your opinion, what kind of unique platform has a Dunhuang Cultural Expo built for cultural exchanges between ASEAN and China, especially with Gansu province?
So indeed, this opportunity to be here in Dunhuang is indeed one of a kind, because we are very much overwhelmed and mesmerized with the kind of beautiful culture that you have here in Gansu province. I was able to witness on how various states, different country states and representatives across the globe come together to come for this event. For example, China, we wanted the youth from the different countries to come here and perhaps understand their culture, the language, and of course, the wonderful sceneries that we have here in Gansu province. So it's about time for us to unite. It's about time for us to provide this opportunity so that the young leaders will have a different point of view, a different perspective as to how beautiful China is.
So among the international cultural expos you've participated in, does this cultural expo have any specific features compared to others?
In this cultural exchange programs and this roadshow as well, this cultural expo, I am very grateful. I've been to Egypt. I've been to the pyramids. I never thought that Dunhuang in particular had this kind of wonderful desert. I didn't know that you have canals here. And I was like, this is something that should be written in the books, and it should be something that the world should know. And indeed, I was able to learn a lot at the same time with your culture. And I would say, I am very much interested to look forward for strengthening our partnerships and collaboration.
After talking about the Cultural Expo, let's move on to the Dunhuang city. And we noticed that besides participating in the Cultural Expo and the Dunhuang forums, you have also conducted visits in Dunhuang. So is there anything left the first impression on you?
Actually, there's a lot of memorable things that I was able to witness and experience during my entire stay here in Dunhuang. And one of the things that really actually was notable for my end, or something that I will really remember, is the youth dialogue that we had yesterday. So it's so overwhelming and it's very empowering to see a lot of young leaders from Dunhuang sharing about the best practices that you have here, about the kind of skills and talents that they have been giving to the community, and that kind of support that has been given and provided by the government of Gansu province. It's very overwhelming.
Okay, so besides forums, have you ever been to some cultural heritage sites like Mogao Grottos or other places?
Yeah, of course. I just early this morning, we went to the caves and the Mogao, and I was very surprised, honestly. I never thought that there's such history in China. But over the time being, I said, oh my, right? Chinese are really talented. You guys are very creative. And I am so impressed on how the Gansu province was able to preserve the cultural heritage that you have here and how you were able to preserve in such a way that the next generation of young people will be able to witness that. And that is something that is truly admiring, and I appreciate it a lot.
So, in your view, which aspect of Dunhuang culture is most capable of breaking down geographical or cultural differences and becoming a cultural link that fosters emotional resonance between ASEAN and the Chinese youth?
One of the things that really impressed me is, if we're going to talk about today, with the new generation of Gen Z, with the millennials, and with this new generation, I was actually surprised that, they were able to preserve. They were able to document everything. And they're very much proud to include that in your history, to include that in your culture, that we have this and that. And these are things that I would say that it should be something that we have to learn from the different ASEAN member country states, that even though there's this advancement in terms of technology, especially with the presence of AI, but it shouldn't be the reason for us to stop sharing and telling wonderful stories to our kids, to our children, especially on the culture and the heritage of our countries. And here in Dunhuang, I was able to really see that. And that's something that I really appreciate a lot.
After the conclusion of Cultural Expo, how will you convey the Dunhuang stories and Gansu impressions to ASEAN youth?
Well, there are ongoing explorations that we're currently sitting down as of the moment. But what I'm happy about is that because of this event, because of this Cultural Expo, it actually was the birth of something new. It actually was the reason why we convened together, coming from the different member country states. And we are here very much excited to share the wonderful good news and stories when we go back home to our respective countries.
Whether it is a platform value of Cultural Expo or the linking role of Dunhuang culture, their realizations are actually relies on the youth cooperation. So what are your exact expectations about youth cooperation between ASEAN and Gansu?
I would say that there is a very big potential if we're going to allocate more time and allocate more efforts in designing programs, perhaps coming up with continuing events that will happen here in Gansu province, and that would help a lot. When we talk about youth development work, and we talk about partnerships, and we talk about cultural exchange, we are very much ready, especially for the ASEAN Youth Organization, because we have established a platform for all of our youth, not just from the different ASEAN country member states, but we are very much hopeful to start working with our Chinese community, and perhaps we can create more impactful programs in the other way around. Like we can bring ASEAN youth to come here to China, or we can also bring Chinese youth leaders to come to different ASEAN member states, and that's very much convenient. And we have been doing that over the past years. Yeah, I'm very much happy and excited to future collaborations.
Thank you for your insightful views. Actually, the young generation are the key elements of writing the stories of the Silk Road. So we're really looking forward to seeing more ASEAN youth to come to Gansu, to learn about Gansu and cooperate with Gansu youth to write a new chapter of dialogue on Silk Road civilizations.
Perfect.
That's all my questions. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, it has been a very wonderful time to talk with you, and I'm looking forward to be back here in Gansu. 谢谢。